Never before, in the recorded annals of history, have such stupendous quantities of men and material been captured as in this present world conflict. Prisoners of war in their tens of thousands pass and will pass continually through your hands. Not only Army, but Air Force and Naval prisoners will also come under your charge and must be treated like any other prisoners. You must realize that a prisoner of war is much more than just another enemy knocked out of the fight. He has a very definite value because prisoners are the best source of first-hand information we have. Each of these men has military information that we want. This information may provide us with a complete picture of the enemy's plans. And once we've built up this picture, we can make our plans for his defeat. There are three main sources of information open to our intelligence staff in the field. First, they can tell from the uniforms to what arm of the service they belong, and from details of the time and place of capture, can estimate what units and what strength we're up against in any given sector. This information is of immediate tactical value, and the unit intelligence officer must get it right away. Second, they can get information from documents taken from prisoners. For example, in this paybook, a signals corporal had this paper, which, when translated, proved to be an important code name list. And here we have an actual letter written by a German officer captured at Bardia. Translated, this is what it tells us. This is the diary of an engineer lieutenant taken at Tobruk. It contains a mine of information. Even though these documents may look purely personal and quite unimportant, you can see for yourselves that they are of great military value. The third and most important method is interrogation. The first full tactical interrogation is normally carried out by a specialist interrogation officer. An untrained, unauthorized person must not question a prisoner. He'll spoil the prisoner for the trained interrogator and cause unnecessary delay. This gives you some idea how valuable prisoners of war can be, but they must be kept in the right frame of mind. This is your job, and this is how you do it. Here is the end of a platoon attack, resulting in the capture of half a dozen prisoners, including an officer and 2 NCOs. From the moment you take your prisoners, keep one thing in mind: speed. Get them back to a unit collecting point as soon as possible. But before this, there are several things you must do on the spot. And here is the drill. First of all, disarm them, obviously to protect yourself, and to prevent them damaging their weapons, which may have technical details of interest to our experts. Stack their weapons, and remember, they may still have plenty of fight left, so be sure you have completely disarmed them. Then separate them to prevent the officer or NCOs from giving the others any last-minute security instructions. Though you won't have time to search them all, give a quick once-over the officer and, if possible, NCOs. They are the most likely to have marked maps or other important papers. Don't forget to take their paybooks from them. On the other hand, do not take their helmets, respirators, rations, badges of rank, or decorations. Above all, don't take their identity discs. And here's another thing to watch for. If they get the chance, prisoners will try to destroy papers and equipment. Don't let them. This is valuable information to us. If prisoners start to talk, they must be stopped immediately. It helps to revive their spirits and morale, and that will help them to resist interrogation.
Shut up!
The interrogator wants to get them while their spirits are still low and feeling beaten. They'll be more inclined to talk then. Keep them in that frame of mind. The platoon commander will detail a guard to escort the prisoners to a unit collecting point. The guard will take prisoners' documents with him. Wounded prisoners of war are treated in the same way as our own casualties and are passed back through the same medical channels. On the march, always put the officers in front, followed by the NCOs, then the other ranks. And always remember, their documents must go back with them. Any personal stuff will be returned to the prisoners at base. The sooner they're brought to interrogation, the more use they'll be. So lose no time in getting them back to a unit collecting point. On arrival at a unit collecting point, they are handed over to the I personnel, who identify and report the prisoners' units and search them more. Always be smart and businesslike in dealing with prisoners. If you look sloppy and inefficient, they'll begin to feel superior and their morale will rise. Here again, the officers, NCOs and other ranks are kept apart. At a collecting point, the I personnel will obtain from the guard details of when, where and how the prisoners were taken. Then take over their documents. Prisoners will always be on the lookout for anything of military importance. Weapons they haven't seen before, for example. So be careful they don't see or hear anything that they shouldn't. No talking is permitted within hearing of prisoners except to give orders, as they may understand English. Another thing, never relax your watchfulness. Prisoners may try to escape. Remember, he may be getting away with valuable information, so take no chances. Shoot to kill. The drill is a matter of common sense. If you follow it correctly, your prisoners will reach the interrogation officer in just the right frame of mind. If you don't use common sense, you can easily slip up. Here's an example. It may seem fantastic, but it actually happened. Here's something less obvious.
Halt!
Your treatment of prisoners is governed by the Geneva Convention, and you mustn't go outside it. This means be fair, but firm. Don't treat these men like heroes just because they've made parachute landings or spent days on a raft at sea. They're still your enemies. So don't give them cigarettes, cups of tea, or anything like that before they've been interrogated. This helps to restore their morale, and that's bad for the interrogator. You must, however, see that prisoners have regular meals. But remember, fair but firm. It's possible that you may capture medical personnel. These men are protected by the Red Cross and must be dealt with accordingly. You must not take either their Red Cross armbands or their special identity cards from them. One other thing, do not collect souvenirs. Souvenirs taken from German prisoners may be interesting and even useful to you, but they are much more important to the interrogating officer. The things you pinch might be of great value to someone trained to understand them. This has happened far too often in the past. And quite apart from that, souvenir hunting is common theft, and a prisoner of war who has been robbed or unfairly treated will be resentful and refuse to talk.
An egg? Good blimey.
Well, that's the drill. It's very simple. Disarm, separate officers, NCOs, and other ranks. Prevent talking. Frisk the officers and NCOs quickly, and get them back with their documents to a unit collecting point, where the I personnel will take over. And remember, no souvenir hunting. At all times, a smart and efficient manner in dealing with prisoners. And don't coddle and sympathize with them. Don't let prisoners see or hear anything they shouldn't. Prisoners may try to escape. If they do, take no chances. Shoot to kill. That is the essence of the drill. You must adapt it to whatever circumstances you're in, and these may vary with each action. Finally, the quicker you get them to interrogation, the more use they'll be. So remember, first, last, and all the time, speed's the thing.